Oh, the NES! A magical time where all the games had to explore new horizons, embrace their creativeness, and set out the path for the gaming industry to follow in the years to come. Also, they had to be 8-bit. And it was in this brave new world that many franchises were born. Mario, Zelda, Final Fantasy, and, of course, Fire Emblem. On the mythical day of April 20th, 1990, the first in the Fire Emblem franchise was born. Fire Emblem, Shadow Dragon, and the Blade of Light. This game was widely known for kickstarting a great franchise, with strategic gameplay, human characters, a protagonist that refused to wear pants, and one of the biggest names ever seen in a game. No, for real, how am I supposed to say this name? Like, Shadow Dragon and the Blade of Light is kind of a mouthful. Just Shadow Dragon is the name of the DS remake. SDATBOL is way too long. I guess I'll just call it FE1? Anyway, the point is, recently, FE1 turned 30! Really a great feat for any series. The series will forever be one of the oldest ones in gaming, one of the pioneers of the great generation that was born afterwards. And, like the greatest classics like Super Mario Bros. Or The Legend of Zelda, countless fans have been itching to play the origins of the series. Why? No, like really, why? This is not like a Super Mario Bros. Case, where the mechanics are the same and the game is fine 35 years later. No! It's an absolutely outdated game with outdated mechanics that the series improved with quality of life updates over the course of 3 decades. But the heavy above this game has a remake! Play the remake! Why in the world are you trying to play the first Fire Emblem? Are you some kind of masochist? Alright, this is not my place to judge. Fine! The first ever Fire Emblem. There are a lot of ways to play it, of course. Old games nowadays are the easiest thing to play. Oh! You want to play it on the Switch? Of course! Why not? Alright then. Indeed, this is possible. This is very possible. Welcome to today's video, ladies and gentlemen, where we will learn how to play the first ever Fire Emblem game on your Nintendo Switch. Alright, we might as well begin with a sad story. There was a time when Fire Emblem turned 30 that the company decided to celebrate the game's anniversary, like they celebrated Mario 35th in the same year. Mario got a part of Super Mario 3D World alongside the new expansion Bowser's Fury, another part of the first 3D Mario games 64, Sunshine and Galaxy, a themed Game & Watch, and a battle royale called Super Mario Bros. 35. Fire Emblem got a children's banner in Heroes and a part of the very first game in the series, the one that's 30 years old and was released for the NES. But, surprisingly, that was a good sign. This was the first time ever where an old Fire Emblem was translated and ported to a recent console. This could be a sign that not only other older Fire Emblem games could be translated, like Genealogy of the Holy War or Binding Blade, but that other Nintendo games could be translated, like Mother 3. Turns out, nothing came of it. However, that is not the important point. The thing is that, indeed, there is a way to play FE1 on the Switch in a good and legal way. Not only that, but they added a lot of quality of life improvements to this version. There's the ability to rewind turns, trading, save stating, official English translated, it has it all, it's and it was removed from the eShop. For some ungodly reason, aside from the 3D World part, all the games made for the Mario and Fire Emblem anniversaries had their availability limited to March 31st, 2021, including even the Battle Royale, Mario 35, that had its servers shut down. Of course, that also includes the digital version of the original Fire Emblem game, because, of course, having a 30-year-old game available on the eShop was too much of a threat to Nintendo. This means we'll need to find another way. Alright, but not all hope is lost for the mysterious FE1 part for the Nintendo Switch that was brutally murdered in cold blood in front of us. The thing is, the part also had a physical version. The game came, physically, bundled with the Fire Emblem 30th Anniversary Special Edition, a legendary special edition that was released at the end of 2020. This Fire Emblem 30th Anniversary Special Edition had an official price of $50. That might be a lot for an NES game, one that didn't even come in a cartridge, but the Fire Emblem 30th Anniversary Special Edition was also bundled with a lot of other special features. This Fire Emblem 30th Anniversary Special Edition was also bundled with a very pretty deluxe art book, a replica of the original NES game box, sleeve and cartridge, and mini Nintendo Power collectibles like posters. All that included for the price of $50. Well, that's one solution. Like digital features that are only available to us until the retailers decide to pull off the plug, physical collections will live on until the end of time, like the Game Boy that was hit by a bomb. Even though they are not sold anymore, used copies will be sold around forever. We just need to take one of this and we'll be able to have the Fire Emblem 30th Anniversary Special Edition. Holy Mother of God! This is an NES game with extra things! Why are you selling this for these ungodly prices? Alright, I guess that's off the table. Let's look for other options. The Nintendo Switch Online, or NSO, is an online library of Nintendo's oldest classics, ranging from the NES, the SNES, the N64, and the Sega Genesis. Truly Nintendo oldest classics. The thing is, obviously, that FE1 is a Nintendo classic. One absolutely fit to be in the Switch library of the so-called old classics, in the same shelf of the unforgettable titles like Zelda, Metroid, and Nightshade. And there's nowhere to be found, really. There is an easy answer to this lack of presence in this ever so expanding library. The thing is, like I said, this game was never available in Western libraries in the past. The Fire Emblem 30th Anniversary Special Edition is the first time ever this game was sold here. The first time Fire Emblem came to the West was with Blade & Blade for the GBA in 2003. That's 13 years later. What do I mean by that? I mean that's not available in the NES Online app, but it is available in the Famicom Nintendo Switch Online app, the Japanese version. The reason for this is obvious. The game was never released outside Japan, so it's only available in there. Yes, that never stopped other Japanese-only releases to be launched here, but they're usually less text-heavy. For example, take the Mysterio Murazami Castle, which was even released for the Western Virtual Console. And somehow is still missing for the NES Online in every part of the world. Regardless, that's your easy way to play FE1 on the Switch! You just need a Japanese account with the Nintendo Switch Online subscription, and you're ready to go and play any kind of Japanese game, even more than FE1. What do you mean you don't speak Japanese? What, are you playing FE1 for the story? Are you kidding me? Alright, no, let's stop this. Why are you so fixated on playing the original FE1 game? No, I'm done with this. Enough is enough. Play Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon for the Nintendo DS. The 3DS can run it as well. There's not a remake even. Mystery of the Emblem for the SNES remade the original story on top of the sequel. But that's also just in Japanese, so back to the DS! Let's be honest here. The remake can do everything the original does, but better. I know it looks ugly as sin, but still better than this 8-bit portrait! What good are you doing to yourself? Suffering! Not only that, but the story is vastly improved. A prologue was added to the main plot. New characters, new mechanics, you know something nice? Your healers level up by healing! Because in the original game, you had to let your enemies beat up your healers senseless for them to level! I know it has some absurd things, like the lack of support in a recent game. But still, the original game had no supports either, so you're not losing anything. Also, some weird things like having to kill characters to be able to recruit some others. Narn, for example, is one of my favorite characters, but I can only get her if I murder someone in the prologue. But that's still better than the original! Alright, that's it, forget this dumb video. We're getting the remake. How much does it cost? Why do you want me to pay so much for a 40-year-old DS game? Holy heavens above! Alright, back to FE1. Back to F1, let's forget all this. I didn't want to do this, but there's only one thing we can do now. Alright, I know this is kinda wrong, I know I shouldn't be doing this, but they left me with no options. Look, I know some alternate methods, I know... They found me! They found me! They found me! What are you doing? Sorry, where are you getting? Unit down. Well, I went through plenty of options. I went through all the alternatives, but I think now there's only one thing left to do. Japanese lessons, part 1. Arigato means thanks. Like so, but this doesn't look like Japanese. This is German.